Hello, I hope you're doing well today. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the SOTA Toys, state-of-the-art toys, Street Fighter Round 3 Guile action figure. So, I've been collecting the SOTA figures for a couple months now. I had originally picked up this preview Ken here at a secondhand store, unboxed, unopened, for a relatively cheap price. And then I bought a Ryu to go with him, and then I caught the SOTA bug, and I just had to get more of these guys. And so I have been collecting some in the box, out of the box. I have a few more in the box that I will be looking at formally in this kind of format, and then some that I may look at in comparison like videos over the coming months. So I'm excited to be talking about this, guys. This is the first one that I'm opening, and I'm going to open it on camera. So before we do that, go ahead and take a look at the box. This is old school packaging. The whole thing is completely wrapped in plastic, which stinks if you want to open them and put them back in. I mean, there's no way to open these without doing permanent damage to the box, sadly. So, but I don't feel too terrible about opening these guys. They have a lot of yellowing on the box. A lot of them, the boxes haven't held up that great. So I don't mind taking them out. I'm going to enjoy them more out of the box than in the box. So just going ahead and taking a look. You can see it's a big window. You can see everything that he comes with: alternate head, hands, the little effect parts down here. We have a picture of Mr. Guile there, his name, excuse me. And then we have some of his special moves down here, how to do them. So it's pretty neat. Round 3 or Wave 3 on that. On the back we have pictures of the rest of the wave: Guile, Adon, Gin, Sakura, and Balrog. I have these two in box that I will be opening in future videos. I have Sakura loose, and this one is still eluding me. Balrog is one of the harder ones to get for a reasonable price, especially in the box. So that's all that. And we got a green color. Each wave round had a different background color. So blue, red, this one's green. And then we got a picture of Ryu at the top. So just time to go ahead and commit, I guess, the equivalent of a war crime in the action figure collecting world, and open a SOTA Street Fighter for the first time. Alright, so I have SOTA Guile out of the box. Before I talk about him, I want to talk about some of his accessories. So the first thing I want to talk about is this alternate head here. So this is his battle ready face here. Got a nice sculpt here, open mouth. You can see all the details as far as like the teeth. All that is sculpted and painted in there. His eyes are really well painted. Just a good angry yelling head. Kind of stylized. I think it looks really neat. Definitely work for some fighting poses. And I'll have pictures of Guile using all of his accessories at the end. Here we've got a thumbs up hand here. You can see it's well sculpted. You got this nice vein work in there, the details in the fingers, the wrinkles, and the fingernails. You can also use it as a thumbs down or pointing to himself hand. Next up, we've got this flat hand here. This can be used maybe as a salute, or it can be used to pat down his hair as he uses his comb. This is all one piece. The comb does not separate from the hand, which is good. You don't want to have to be looking in a carpet for a comb if you drop it. You can see very well sculpted here. We got the little teeth on the comb, so that all works. Now, the last thing I want to talk about, it's probably my favorite thing about this guy, are his effect pieces, his sonic booms. So he gets 2 of them. Let's see if I can, yeah, there we go. He has 2 of them, and they're cast in this blue color, kind of translucent, and they look great. They just clip onto his hands as if he's charging up the sonic boom. I thought that this move was like a yellow effect. These are blue, obviously. So as far as accuracy goes, I don't know, but this is still really cool. I like it more personally than the Jada one, which comes with a stand and everything. I like it. I like to see the accessories interacting with the figure more. So I like this a lot. It's kind of really smooth effect, sculpt. Looks really nice. All right, so here we have Guile out of the packaging. First impressions, I think he looks great. As far as just a good silhouette, you can see it's got the shoulders popping, nice V taper. The legs are maybe a bit skinny, just considering that he's got like baggy pants on, but I still think he looks great. Color-wise, he is a bit of a darker green, which as far as accuracy goes, again, I'm not terribly sure. I would have to look at more pictures, but if you compare him to something like the Jada Guile, which we'll kind of take a look at throughout the video, you can definitely see the difference in the darker and the brighter greens here, and browns as well. Really just everything. So yeah, definitely a darker palette, which is nice. I like the look of it for sure, and it definitely sets him apart from maybe a Guile that you already have. One thing I also really like about the SOTA figures is the weight behind them. They definitely feel durable. You know, a lot of action figures now, they feel kind of hollow, but these feel, I don't know, they have a nice weight to them. They feel like it's just plastic all the way through. They're definitely nice to handle. Last thing I want to do before we get too deep into it is to take a measurement of old Guile here and compare him to some of his compatriots. Is that a good word? So here we have Guile with the tape measure. To the top of his hair, he stands about 6.5 inches. It looks different on the camera, but I'm looking at it about 6.5 inches. So for some good scaling comparisons, here again is the Jada Guile. We will be looking at him a little bit throughout this video. Looking at them standing right next to each other, they kind of almost come in at the exact same height. It might look a little different on camera. This guy might look a little taller. But in person, they come out to the top of their hair about the same height. Jada Guile kind of has higher shoulders. But as far as the heads go, they're pretty level. So I think you could definitely, if you don't care about the stylization of it, you just want a Guile, you could use the two interchangeably. Next we have Chun-Li here, Jada Chun-Li, in these scale wheel. I did not realize how short she was until I put her next to this Guile, but I think that works. Next, we're gonna look at Guile's, I guess you could call him his rival. He's kind of everybody's rival in the Street Fighter universe, but we have M. Bison. This is the Jada one. M. Bison here is actually a fair bit shorter. I don't know if you could tell, maybe. Yeah, Jada M. Bison is a bit shorter. Personally, I like a big M. Bison. I'm used to how he is in the Street Fighter 2 animated movie where he's just a giant. I like M. Bison to be one of the bigger characters. Maybe not like as tall as Sagat, but maybe taller than everybody except for Sagat. So this, I believe, is much better scaling. This is the SOTA Toys M. Bison here. And this guy does stand taller than Guile. His hat is higher than Guile's head. Shoulders are up higher. It's all, he just makes Guile look kind of small. The size of the arms, legs, feet, everything. So I like the scaling a lot better. This is still my favorite M. Bison figure, even though the Jada one is still really nice, but I'm a bit old school in some ways. So
going outside of Street Fighter, we'll kind of breach into Marvel versus Capcom, X-Men versus Street Fighter territory. Here we have Captain America, the Marvel Legends Game Reverse Captain America. This is Hasbro's take on Capcom Captain America, and I really like it. I think they scale well enough. Captain America's head reaches about the top of Guile's hair. Shoulders are about level too. They look fairly nice together. I mean, Guile has like way taller traps and everything. The muscle proportionings are different. Guile's got some thicker arms. So again, stylistically, there are some differences, but this will work. And lastly, to compare them to a DC Universe Classics, here we have the Question. And these two are right about the same height from hat to hair. Different proportions. If you wanted to stick Guile with your DC Universe Classics, don't know why you would, but if you would, you have that option. Works very nicely. So, now that we've got all of that out of the way, let's just go ahead and take a closer look at him. So, starting with the head, this guy is very well sculpted. I definitely get vibes of the Street Fighter II animated movie, which I really like. That's probably my favorite looks for all of the characters, honestly. And so I really like this. I like the nice square jaw here. Just this big stern frown. You can see his eyebrows, or lack thereof, gives him a nice stern look. The hair is well sculpted. You can see just like all of the sculpting going up to the hair. These are all hand sculpted, by the way. These are pretty old. So definitely impressive what they were able to accomplish. Looking here from the side, you can see that square chin there again. And one thing I really like about this guy is his little hair poof. I don't know. I think it gives it a little bit of character versus this one that doesn't have it, if you see what I mean. So I think it looks really nice. Got some nice cheekbones. Probably one of my favorite things about the sculpt on this guy. He's got some really prominent cheekbones. So that all looks very nice, very well painted. SOTA toys are not only completely hand sculpted, but they're also painted all the way from head to toe. No molded plastic here. And that makes things like the skin look so much more realistic. You can kind of see like his face kind of has a little red blushing to it. That looks really nice. It almost kind of doesn't match the rest of the body. When I bought this guy on eBay, there was some sun damage to the box. I'm wondering if maybe that got through to the figure as well, and that's why there's a bit of a difference. I don't know, but it's a difference on mine. The face is a bit more red, but it looks really nice. It looks like human skin versus kind of this like yellowy, almost like, I don't know, like there's something about like molded skin. It almost doesn't even look fully opaque. I don't know. There's something about it. But I think this looks really nice. If you can see, the eyes are also painted really well. And we even have like some shading, like black line work in his face that's very subtle. It looks really nice. So next, I also, just kind of moving down, I want to talk about his dog tags. I'm not the biggest fan of dog tags on action figures, really, because the beads are never going to be the proper size. But, you know, Guile's got to have his dog tags. So I think they do look pretty nice. It's two separate pieces, two separate little dog tags. I don't know if, yeah, like that. Versus Jada, which is like one piece. The one is definitely more manageable. I feel like you can kind of have these two kind of going all over the place. So something to think about. Let's pull back a little bit. Moving down, I really like the sculpt here. He's got nice big traps and the popping shoulders. And then a huge chest. Just let's go ahead and look at him from front to back. Like, my goodness. So this guy's definitely got a lot of thickness to him. And I really like that. I'm a bodybuilding enthusiast, so I like when the action figures kind of take those unrealistic proportions. So this guy's a unit. You can see all the sculpted muscle detail in his back and on his shirt. You can see the wrinkling there. talking about hand sculpted versus modern action figure methods, digital sculpting. Digital sculpting allows for things like this really nice texture here in the shirt and the pants that gives it a little bit more realism. But it's honestly worth the sacrifice. I think this guy does not have the texture, but he still has really nice sculpted detail. He's got muscles popping through the shirt and some wrinkling, and it looks really nice. And again, dark green, I really like it. So one thing about SOTA figures that did not age terribly well are the shoulders, the sculpt of them. They're like perfect balls with just some squiggly lines in them. And a lot of the times, the ball's shoulders would be the same size no matter what the difference in arm size was. So like Guile and Bison kind of have the same size shoulders. Not the same, they're not the same sculpt. The lines are a bit different, but same size shoulders, and Bison's arms are a good bit thicker, let's put it that way. So it doesn't bother me too much. I always thought they looked fairly natural. I think it still looks pretty good. We can see here we've got the American flag tattoo printed on both of his arms. Little tiny and kind of in the wrong place. I believe they're supposed to go on the deltoid up here like Jada Guile has. A lot bigger too, but that doesn't bother me too much. We can see more sculpted and painted detail. You can see, again, the difference in the skin colors throughout. Some more vein work. He's got some nice thick arms. We'll kind of talk about how that plays into the articulation. And then some more, you can already tell some of the ways that this guy is dated that we'll get into with the articulation. And I talked about the hands already. You know, you got the wrinkling in the fingers and the sculpted nails and the veins. Looking at his belt, not much to note there. Looks nice. Got the painted buckle. His pants, though, I really like. You can see, like, on his butt and going down his leg, he's got this really nice stitching. He's got the pockets sculpted in, and it looks great, I think. Some more stitching, zipper. All looks great. The camo, it's camouflage. Looks nice enough. I think it's kind of hard to mess it up, honestly. Camo is either really hard to mess up or really hard to get right. I'm not sure. And we can kind of see how the pants hang over the boot. The boots are kind of a highlight of this guy, honestly. You can see the texturing on kind of the green part that's different from the leather brown part. And they're painted really nice. They've got a nice wash on them, if you can tell. On the boots there, look really nice. Looks like leather. I really like the treads, well sculpted. And you can see, again, more little stitching, the little holes in there. And you know, you got some more green in there, and the laces are painted black as well. So the boots are very high effort, and so is the rest of this guy, honestly. You can definitely feel like they left no stone unturned when putting this guy together. So, very nice. Last thing we're going to take a look at here is posability, articulation. So, the heads are on a dumbbell joint, double ball peg, whatever lingo you want to use. Range, not incredible, really. I mean, you can get some nice tilt out of it. Looking forward, this is him looking forward. That's how much he goes up. And he goes down a little bit better than he goes forward. When you do this, it kind of does make it look like a lot of range. And then we get our rotation. So that works. We got the ball shoulders, like I mentioned. Can raise up. Oh, I almost don't want to push it too far. And maybe scratch up some of this paint. But he can go past 90 degrees. That's as far as I'm willing to go. You might can go farther. And then we have our rotation, of course. And then bicep swivel, works very nice. Single jointed elbows and pinned if pins bother you. Hits 90 degrees, which is nice. And it's something you kind of have to be torn about, like, you know, sacrificing articulation for sculpt. It allows Guile to have these great looking arms. The bicep reaches all the way down to that insertion point at the elbow there. But of course, you only get this amount of range versus something like a Jada where the biceps don't look great. They kind of taper off really quickly there, but you get those really nice double joints that allow Guile to do some more Guile poses. As far as like just putting his arms up to block his face from getting punched in a street fight. So mileage will vary on that for some people. Doesn't bother me too much. He's going to do everything that I really want him to do. So here we have something interesting. Another dated thing here. We have a separate swivel and hinge. So we got the swivel way up on here on the wrist, and it's kind of obvious. Again, doesn't bother me too much. May bother you. And then we've got the hinge at the wrist. Goes down, doesn't come up terribly far. Next, moving down to the torso, we've got an ab crunch with pins. So bringing it forward, that's how far Guile is going to go. And you can tilt his head up to maybe hunch him over and kind of get him to look forward. I don't know. So that's how far he goes forward. That's him standing straight. And then here is him. I think he only goes one click back, which is fine. I don't feel like there's as much use for going back as there is going forward. And nowadays, a lot of action figures, they can go way back and then not forward much at all. So waist swivel, got these ball hips. On the SOTA figures, they didn't get super great range for what the ball hips were. I think they just, like, they had bigger crotch sculpts. Like Toy Biz Marvel Legends, they go way out. So you can see he can get almost perfect splits, which is fine. Leg only goes up about that far. And then you kind of have to start twisting off. So next we have our thigh swivel, works fine. Double jointed knees. If these were single jointed knees, I almost don't know if I could get behind this line. They look great, but at least they have double jointed knees, no double jointed elbows, but they work. Get all the range you need. Next we have a boot swivel, which is a boot swivel, works nice. And then we have hinged ankles. Only hinges. Point the toe that far and that far up. But I'm trying to be dramatic because this is the first SOTA figure that I'm reviewing. But SOTA did, let's say, accommodate for only hinged ankles by giving us this joint here. So yeah, you have foot rotation. I haven't seen this anywhere else other than on these guys. It's definitely a thing of the time. I think it works well enough. Like, it's not terribly noticeable unless you're like looking at it from the places where you're gonna notice it. But you know, it works just fine, honestly. Doesn't bother me. But then we also have a toe hinge, which works. You can see all that separation there. It doesn't look great, but it will work for poses. I've kind of been posing this guy around for pictures, and the toe holds up just fine. So that is a look at Mr. Guile here. I would say that if you're trying to find the Guile for your collection and can only have one, what would I say you should do? Some things to think about. I feel like this guy will fit in well enough with some more modern figures, but of course this is a modern figure. It's going to look better standing next to something like a Marvel Legends, in my opinion. Because just a lot of the modern action figure making sentiments are there. Molded plastic, more articulation. So, I mean, if you're looking for a Guile to stand up in your Marvel vs. Capcom collection with like some Marvel Legends, Probably this guy. This guy's also a lot easier to find. $30. You can find him on Amazon, probably BBTS. This guy, you're gonna have to go to eBay, Mercari. I got this guy complete, unopened in the box for about $50. For some reason, Guile, SOTA Guile, is fairly easy to find for a bit of a reasonable price. I don't know why, because he's one of the better ones from the line in my opinion, but he is a bit easier to find. You're probably going to pay 20 to 30 more than you're going to pay for this guy. And then of course, I feel like you're really only, I don't know. I feel like the SOTA figures now are for Street Fighter fans and people who are just action figure fans, fans of action figure history, all of that. So if you're looking for a guy that you're going to have a lot of fun with, posing up, putting with other action figures, this might be the one. If you're trying to get a piece of action figure history, find something that you can look at and really enjoy and get in some decent poses, or you're trying to fill out your SOTA line, then this may be the one that you're looking for. And of course, do what you want. I have both. I enjoy having both. I feel like I can, I'll have a SOTA shelf and I'll have a Marvel vs. Capcom shelf. This will be on Marvel vs. Capcom. This will be on SOTA. So I enjoy owning both. I like this guy for his looks. I like this guy for his posing. But of course, again, that's up to you. So thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.